We're really looking forward to our class of 2030 here, so thank you students and families, parents, to coming to Logansport High School tonight. We're going to give you a general overview of things here at LHS to be able to set you up for success and prepare you for next year. It will cover things at Logansport High School, our Century Career Center, also our academy with PCAP and PTech programming there. And you guys will have an opportunity after we're done here to be able to tour the building, walk around and see the Career Center and programming that we have there, and then visit our cafeteria where we have clubs and activities down there to be able to spotlight the different opportunities that students can be able to join and get involved here at Logansport High School. So as Principal Michael Miller, welcome. It's great to see familiar faces here at Logansport High School and how quickly a couple years goes, as we all know this, parents, and how quickly these next 4 years certainly will go for your students. And we're really excited to be a part of that journey with them, help them be successful, and prepare them for life after LHS. So here with us tonight, I've got Lindsay Haggerty, our assistant principal in charge of curriculum instruction. I've got J.D. Dubes, our assistant principal in charge of student services. Bob Isles, our director of Century Career Center, and Amy Warner, our assistant principal at the academy at LCSC and in charge of PCAP. As you guys know, our community and Logansport High School, we embrace our diversity, and it's what we cherish so much about Logansport and LHS. And here we have a representation of 30 countries and 25 spoken language, and our diversity makes us who we are, our school culture and climate, and we are super proud of that here at Logansport High School. What you'll find at Logansport High School, these are pillars for us and important, that our academics, we're a comprehensive high school, so focused on academics first and foremost, ensuring that college and career readiness is occurring and our students are ready once they leave Logansport High School, our fine arts program and the opportunities that they can be involved in that, our athletics, and certainly our facilities are a spotlight within Logansport High School. So I'm not going to go through this list of do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that, because that's not what this meeting's about. But students, as you look through this, and you guys have been doing this through your time here in LCSC, but if you can be able to do these items here, I guarantee you your 4 years at LHS, you will be successful. All that we ask is that you obviously give your best effort, because we assure you that we're going to be giving you, and our teachers are going to be giving you their best effort in preparing you and helping you be successful. Are you going to be pushed? Absolutely. Our goal is to help you find new ways to be able to do things and push you to new limits that you didn't think that were possible, to prepare you for not just what's in front of you right now at Logansport High School, but as you guys graduate here in 2030. And so being responsible, being involved, that's a big thing for us. You're going to hear us talk about different ways that you can get engaged and be active within our school community, whether that be in clubs or activities, athletics, your own academic teams. But certainly students, get yourselves involved in things. Be engaged in school activities. It helps you better in the classroom, and certainly helps us as a school be more comprehensive and well-rounded as well too. Parents, students, as you look at these, you're going to hear about these. You're going to see these in front of you over the next 4 years. These are our three main goals. Our graduation rate, and I'll show you kind of a history of what that's looked like over the years, but our overall graduation rate is 90% or better. And our attendance rate, this is a big one, 95%. Students, I'm sure that you've been hearing this throughout 8th grade. You're going to hear more and more about this as new accountability measures come out to schools, but ensuring that students are at school. This really means in your course of time at Logansport High School, you cannot have more than 10 absences to meet the threshold and the mark with the new state accountability model and what's best practice for you to be successful in the classroom. And so being at school is extremely important. It is critical. We are looking at that, obviously, as a way to help you be successful. It helps your teachers academically. It allows you the opportunities to be able to learn the material that you need to be successful in your classes. And as you guys know, attaining credits as you look at your pathways and graduation is extremely important. And many of you are already doing that now. You're getting high school credits in 8th grade classes. Obviously, that's what's happening right now with many of your classes that you have. And so that transcript that is actually started right now for you is critical. So second semester, make sure that we're kicking it in gear at the junior high, and attendance is important in that piece. And then certainly once you leave Logansport High School, we want every single student, 100% of our students, to be college and career ready. And so as you look at the trends here, these are since 22, 23, 24, and 25. Again, 90% is our goal. Back in 22, we were just below that. 23 and 24, we were at 91%. And if you've recently seen and read the paper, we had a reported 89.2%. But we have 5 students that we are in an audit review process in hopes to be able to get that corrected. With that being said, we should be a little over 91% once that gets fixed from the Department of Education. So again, meeting our goal of 90%. This is a huge one for us. You're going to hear us talk about dual credits. Dual credits are an opportunity for you to earn high school credit and college credit within the same course at the same time. Our students, over 80% of our students have 3 or more dual credits and opportunities that they have here at Logansport High School, which is huge. So get involved, get active, get in those classes to be able to attain that, and you'll see in a second why that's important. This is an example, so I'll let you read through this in a second. Our 25 data, you'll notice here that over 6,600 dual credits were earned, and here's the big thing for you as students and families. That's over $1.5 million just last year from our 25 cohort in tuition savings that they had based on dual credits that were earned. So we've had students obviously going off once they leave Logansport High School and rolling into a college and university with sophomore level credits, being able to dual major, many different possibilities that they're able to do because of the opportunities that they have here at Logansport High School in their 4 years. So that's a great benefit for you and certainly for us as well too. You're going to hear us talk about the 3 E's over your time here at Logansport High School, and we want you will have, and you will be a part of one of these pathways for us to be able to be enrolled, employed, or enlisted once you come and leave Logansport High School. And so our goal, guidance counselors, teachers, administration, is to ensure that you are set in a pathway to help you be successful to attain that goal. And in that, that goes to our 100% college and career ready. You'll see, and you'll hear Mr. Isles talk about here shortly. Mrs. Haggerty is going to talk about diploma stuff and pathways and what that looks like. But over 90% of our students here at LHS, because we're so fortunate that we have the Career Center attached to our campus, over 90% of our students are able to and do take classes at the Career Center. And those are pathway classes, opportunities for you to get experiences as you look to go outside of Logansport High School. And we have great partnership with our Career Center in setting you up for success in that. So now I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Haggerty. She's going to walk you through the document that you guys each received there. If anybody did not get one of these, I'm happy to come around as she's talking, but she's going to go through our diplomas and the changes that are happening right now with our current freshmen and moving forward.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming tonight. As he mentioned, my name is Lindsay Haggerty. I'm Assistant Principal of Curriculum and Instruction. That means I oversee the teachers, make sure our curriculum follows state requirements. I oversee testing, all those fun things. And I happen to be playing dual roles tonight because I have a daughter sitting out there going through 8th grade transition tonight. And I'm sure I just embarrassed her by saying my mom is on stage. So with that, there are some changes to this year's diploma, and it actually took effect for the freshmen that we have this year. So if you happen to have a student that attends high school already, and they're a sophomore, junior, or senior, they are going to be on a different diploma track than your incoming freshman that's sitting with you tonight. And I'm going to talk you through that, which happens to be on the page you have. The focus of the state and where the state of Indiana is going with high school diplomas is just like Mr. Miller said earlier. They are not just anticipating that students earn enough credits to graduate high school anymore, but instead they have focused their attention on students being ready to either go to college, doesn't mean 4-year, it means 2-year, go to college, enroll in apprenticeship, etc., go into the workforce and be well prepared for that, or enlist directly out of high school. And so your diploma that we're going to talk about tonight is going to help gear your child to be ready for one of those three pathways. With that being said, we have given you a copy, and if you need one and you want to raise your hand, Mr. Miller will come around and he will give you one if you don't have one for your family or need more for your family. We will start on the side that has current Core 40, and then on the right-hand side is the new diploma. If you look at that, you can see that there's some requirements in core courses: English, math, science, and social studies. Students are still required to take those core subjects. They're still required to get a set number of credits in each of those, but what they have to do has changed. So English no longer has to be, as an example, English 9, English 10, English 11, English 12. Now students have to have a speech-oriented class. So one of those semesters of high school has to include speech. We already have a significant number of our students that take speech. Many of those are at dual credit level because they want to get it done with before they go off to college. While it wasn't previously required, it's not going to be something totally new to our students because so many already take it. The next piece is with math. So traditionally, it's been Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2. That's what our students have been used to taking. Now the state is saying your students only have to be required to take Algebra 1. That's happening right now for some students in 8th grade. The rest of you will take it as a freshman. But after that, we can start to branch out into some other math areas. Now, if you want to go off and enroll in post-secondary education, I want to go to Ivy Tech, I want to go to IUK, I want to go to a four-year university somewhere, those schools still expect a very traditional math pathway. They still expect that you're having Algebra 1, Geometry, and Algebra 2, even though Indiana's requirement no longer has that. If you are a student that is not going to go to post-secondary education, school is not for me, I'm doing my best just to get through high school, then we have some other tracks in math that we can go down. Consumer mathematics, business math, etc. We just have to be well aware and communicate as a school and as a family partnership that if that is a route your student decides to take in the area of math, they will not be prepared to be accepted into post-secondary education. Okay? Then we go down into some of the sciences. Biology 1 is the only one that's required now for science. You still have to have several courses. Biology 1 is the only one required of traditional science, but they have added computer science. Every single student in here tonight has to have one semester of computer science to graduate moving forward. Historically, our older students have not had to have that, so that's new. Then you go into social studies. Students have to have U.S. history, they have to have government, and then they need additional credits after that. We typically offer world history here. That's what the majority of students take. Previously required, now it's optional, and we have some other options to choose from as well. PE. It's always been 2 credits for my entire life. Everybody had to have 2 credits of PE. They've taken it back to 1. We do still offer high school credit for sports, so if you are an athlete at Logansport High School, that still qualifies to earn that credit. We have many, many students that earn that at the junior high already as well. They also have to have health. Your child is in health right now. They have to pass it. We do not offer health in a traditional classroom at Logansport High School because it's an expectation that your student is taking it right now and is going to pass it. If they don't, it is summer school. They have to pass health right now. So take a look at their grades inside of Power School. If they are not passing health, help us partner with you to make sure that they pass that, or we'll see them in June. All right, Then they have additional electives and college and career courses they can take. They have to have a set number, as you can see, 12 electives, plus 1 credit in preparing for college and careers, which they took last semester. If your student is in it this semester, they didn't pass it last semester, so they're repeating it. That is also a course we're expecting them to pass at the junior high, and it is required for high school credit, okay? Now you turn to the back side. What we just went over is the basics to graduate from Indiana. It is not what Indiana expects a student to stop at. Based on our new accountability measure, it's going to be voted on tomorrow by the state board down in Indianapolis, that is worth a 55%. A 55% is an F in the school world. So we are moving students to the backside. They're going to get the credits we just talked about, but then we're also going to choose a path, and it can be more than one. Students can earn more than one, but it is either to prepare to enroll in college, which means I'm taking some dual credit or college level courses. I'm earning some work-based learning hours. The second column is that I'm going to be prepared to join the workforce. Typically what that means here is we have our students attending the Career Center and they're participating in 3 courses in the same pathway. So they're fulfilling a pathway. Right now, as of last week, we had 958 Logansport High School students taking courses over in the Career Center. So that's very common that students are pursuing a pathway, but they need to fulfill it. Not just take the courses, but pass them, and they have to have a C average. They also have to earn what might look like a lot. It says complete 150 work-based learning hours. We're thinking, oh my gosh, these are full-time students. They have to have 150 work-based learning hours. It is a 75-hour accumulation for 1 semester of an internship. So if they have in their 4 years here, 1 year that they do an internship for the year, that's 150 hours right there. So that it seems like a large number, but it's really not that large in the grand scheme of things. And then the last one is enlistment, and it's students who want to go off into the military. If they want to earn the enlistment seal, they need to score a certain score. I believe it's a 31 on ASVAB. They need to have a mentor that's part of ROTC. It could be police force, etc. So we have partnerships that then they mentor students that are interested in finishing with the enlistment seal. And they also have to meet an attendance goal. Enlistment and employment both, because you will not be accepted into the military if you can't show up. And you will not be holding a job very long if you can't show up. Both of those have a 94% attendance rate. Following what Mr. Miller just shared on what attendance needs to be, that we're seeking 94%, that's the 10 days that he previously mentioned. All right, the additional pieces that are on this backside, and the font's so small, so I'll just show you up here, is the students have to show or demonstrate employability skills. These are opportunities that we already provide that can fulfill that. And we also have post-secondary readiness competencies. Any of these pathways that students go through, if they fulfill those pathways, that fulfills that. If they're also enrolled in dual credit, academic honors, which will now be the enrollment honors, the first column on the back, fulfills that, and then certain scores on ASVAB, SAT, ACT. Now, your students are familiar with this page. So I came over with the counselors twice during the first semester before the holiday break, and we talked about all the opportunities we have at Logansport High School. They had to pull up their Power School. We talked about how they're currently performing in school. What is it do they want to be? We gave them a survey. Do they want to enroll, enlist, employ? They shared with us what their goals are right now as an 8th grader. We fully are aware that those can change. But what was their goal today? And do their grades, do their attendance, do all of those things look like they're going to be successful in that goal, and then what would they want to be when they grow up? And so we used all of that information, and we had them fulfill their 9th grade schedule. So we began with the core courses. They had to pick their math, their science, their social studies, and their English courses. And then we went through all the CTE opportunities, and they told us, what is it I would like to do for my electives? Their schedules are already, that doesn't mean we can tell you, like, you're going to have this first period, second period, etc. Not that ready. But they have already chosen what they want to do with their high school schedule. If you would like to review that tonight, now that you're with your child, when you come down the ramp, as soon as we dismiss you, all of our counselors are at tables, and you can go up to them and say, I would like to know the schedule that my son or daughter has chosen. We'd like to review it. They will print that out for you so you could take a peek at it. If you want to make any changes, you can do so, but those changes need to be made by April 1st. We say April 1st because that's when all the magic starts to happen here at the high school to prepare for next year. We'll have all scheduling done between your 8th graders plus all of our high school students, and then we start to build next year's master schedule. So we don't allow changes after that because we're already well into a build, and we're basing that off the numbers of requests that your students are a part of. So if you see anything tonight when you talk with those counselors that you want to change, that's perfectly okay. Now's the window to do that. You can either schedule a meeting, talk with them tonight because they're all here. Has to be done by April 1st. All right, I will pass this over now to Mr. Isles, the director of the Career Center.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Haggerty. So as she said, Bob Isles, I'm the director of Century Career Center, and I absolutely love the opportunity that we are able to provide for your students, Cass County as a whole, when it comes to Century. And I do want to stress opportunity for our students. So looking up here, pathways were mentioned. You don't need to choose a pathway right now as an 8th grader or a freshman. One of the things that I'm going to encourage you to really try to do your freshman, sophomore year is explore. I cannot tell you the number of students I have had who have come into the Career Center knowing I want to work construction until they take their very first construction class. They get like 3 weeks in, 6 weeks in, like, yeah, this isn't what I thought it was. You need to figure that stuff out now. And so we have a great opportunity for you to try a lot of different things. And I realize that we've scheduled, if you're looking at those schedules and looking at things, we have a lot of exploration classes that are 1 semester. It gives you a chance to try something, kind of get a quick taste of it, and then hopefully try something else the 2nd semester. Freshmen and sophomores take advantage of those quite a bit. And then as pathways were mentioned, typically your sophomore or junior year, we start to get more serious with what we're looking at, and we start moving into those principles classes. And there's basically a 4-course sequence for each one of these pathways that we kind of throw out there. And so that gives students the opportunity to really start to learn about a career. With high school, a lot of times we focus on graduation, which is a huge milestone event, and it's definitely a wonderful goal. But I also want to stress what comes next, what comes after graduation, because there's a whole lot of life in front of you at that point still. And hopefully, you've been working towards that next step and something that you're really passionate about and you really love. And so I'm hoping that maybe as you look at the screen up here, you're seeing something that is an interest for you, and we can give you an opportunity to start with that. We serve more than just Logansport High School. We also serve students primarily through Cass County, but Fulton County and Pulaski County as well. We end up kind of bringing quite a few in, but when you're over Century Career Center, you will find students from like Lewis Cass, Pioneer, Rochester, Caston, Carroll, and so on. Dual credits, Mr. Miller and Mrs. Haggerty were talking about that quite a bit. One of the great things about dual credits in the Career Center is that even if you're thinking you don't want to necessarily go on to college, you're ready to go straight into the workforce, these dual credits out of our classes, they stick with you. And you might work, 3 years, 6 years, and then realize, if I went and took 2 more college classes, maybe 3 or 4, I could finish an associate's, and now I'm going to get a pay bump, from my employer. We give you a head start on that. And one of the things that I would really say is, I think it's how much college do you need? I think that's the question we need to be looking at. Some of us are looking at 2 years associates, some of us are looking at 4 or beyond, but where are we? And we can kind of give you that jump start there. So we also have a lot of dual credits within the Career Center, primarily through Ivy Tech and Vincennes University, and students are definitely earning. Mr. Miller talked about over $1.5 million with LHS. We're getting up over that 1.2 mark within the Career Center as well, and depending on where those transfer in, that's just a huge amount of savings. And one thing that I just want to stress, that costs you nothing right now. Absolutely nothing. That is free, and that's something that you will not lose as long as you're signing up and going through that. So this number right here, I do want to point out, I mentioned earlier the Career Center is an opportunity. That's the average cost for a student who's not a Logansport student to come to Century Career Center and do a pathway. And so one thing I do want to stress is I have a lot of requests to come into Century Career Center. It's been mentioned we have over 90% of students doing classes with us out of LHS. It's not a requirement, but it is an excellent opportunity. We wouldn't ask you to pay that. That's kind of already, it's figured in with what we do here in Logansport, and you've got some of the best opportunity available. But one thing I do want to stress, though, and it's been mentioned twice, so I hope you're hearing it for a third time clearly, your attendance matters, okay? Especially on our end. I have a lot of programs that I have a high demand for, and I have limited spots. And so if you want to be in welding class, for example, or automotive, or health science, or the list goes on, because we have 24 pathways actually if you look at pre-nursing, kind of splitting into 2. Limited seats sometimes, and occasionally I have to tell someone, I'm sorry, there's not enough space. Attendance is one of the first things I look at. Okay, so you have a wonderful opportunity, I think, available with us. I want you to take advantage of it. And it's going to start with your attendance at school. Your grades in other classes are going to matter too. And the reason I say that is if you're taking Algebra 1 and let's say we lose a semester of that, we got to make it up. Now you're losing an opportunity, a class time where you might be able to come down, with us. We have a lot of cool things in the Career Center, and I just want to kind of throw through some pictures of different things from manufacturing and robotics, health sciences, CNA. I didn't even mention certifications. That's probably a huge oversight on my slide presentation. But if 80% of my classes have dual credit, I'm over 60% of my classes have some sort of industry certification to go with that. And Mrs. Haggerty was talking a lot about those SEALs, credentials of value. We've been working with Ivy Tech on what technical certificates look like and what we can get out of that as well, on our way to some of those associate type degrees. Fire and rescue, criminal justice programs, construction is always a really popular one. We are a carpentry focused construction program, but we get to do a lot of projects. I will throw out, if you saw the last Habitat for Humanity build over 19th and Wright Street by Mulehausen Park, we assisted with that. We prefabbed all those walls in our facility, and we're able to do that. And we're actually getting ready to help erect the one right on the corner next to it again. Welding, manufacturing, I could be up here all night talking about things, right? So I want to encourage you, if you get a chance, please come down, check out the Career Center this evening. I know students came through and got to see things just a little while ago, which is excellent. Parents, if it's your first time, it's a pretty awesome space. Not all of my instructors can be here tonight. I actually have a lot of instructors, I say, because we hire industry professionals to do a lot of our classes. I do have teachers, but a lot of my personnel actually worked 10 years within like an automotive dealership, for example. And now they come in and they teach our students how to kind of do that same thing and learn those skills. They learn from those experts when it comes to that. And so some of my staff actually do commute like an hour from Plymouth or 45 minutes from Huntington. I have Gas City, for example. I mean, if you can imagine that. But sometimes it can be very hard to find like an automotive collision instructor. So I do have a few instructors who aren't present. My automotive instructors are out, but you can still see our lab spaces, and we're happy to show those off. And I will encourage you down in the cafeteria, you can find our ag teacher, our broadcasting, who does radio, TV, and then also my culinary and hospitality. They'll be down that way also. So I appreciate your time listening. I hope you check out what we have, Century Career Center. Like I said, I think it's one of the best opportunities you have while you're here. Thank you. Next, we will have Mrs. Werner with the Academy.
Thank you. So I am here not as an admin for Logansport High School, but the assistant principal at the Academy. So if you're not aware, we actually have two high schools in Logansport. We have Logansport High School, and then we have the Academy at LCSC. The Academy started as a place where kids went if they got booted out of school or if they got behind on credits. But last year we started the PCAP program at the Academy, and like Bob said, it's just another opportunity for your students. So I will take you through. First of all, this program is made possible through a grant through UIndy, and they partnered with us, and we have started this. This is also goes along with the early college program that we have here at Logansport High School. So if you were to choose to attend the Academy at LCSC, you would become an Academy student and an Academy graduate. You would attend school over at 410 West Miami Street. We have about 150 students who attend in person. And so it's a smaller school. It's just a different way to do school. So that's the way I explain it to students and parents. Our students also have the opportunity to attend classes at the Career Center. So when you're looking at those diplomas, the diploma that we would be looking at for our students would be the employability seal on the diploma, and with those credits that Mrs. Haggerty talked about. With the PCAP program, is Pathways in Careers and Post-Secondary. It used to be named P-Tech. The state UIndy decided that we needed to call it PCAP because people may get confused if we kept it P-Tech because it's Pathways in Technology Early College. And we're not really steering our students towards college, we're steering them more the employability route. So if you attended PCAP at the Academy, and I'm going to explain why it's different, you would start at the Academy next school year. You would go 9th and 10th grade full day at the Academy, doing a hybrid program of direct instruction with our teachers, and then you would also do a little bit of online learning in person using our program Edmentum. And then your junior and senior year, you would be taking advantage of those opportunities half the day at the Career Center, and then the other half of your day would be at the Academy. So what is PCAP? So when we have designed our PCAP program, we use these, we call them learning threads on the side there, and we're really focused on employability and connection with community. So we're looking at relationship-centered learning, hands-on curriculum. So if you have a student who has really struggled academically over the last few years, but you have always heard from their teachers, they're such a smart kid, they have such good potential. It's just, schools they need something different. This may be an option for your student. We're looking for about 30 kids. So as you leave tonight, if this seems like something that you would want to pursue for your child, you can stop and talk with your child's counselor and just let them know, hey, I'd like to get some more information about PCAP, and they will put you in connection with me.
So with that relationship-centered learning, hands-on integrated curriculum, we do what are called project-based learning. So students are given projects to complete versus sitting in the classroom, taking notes, and completing assignments that way. Do a unit, take a test, that kind of thing. The kids are given kind of a problem and a project to work through, and they do it based on the state standards. So we have certified teachers that they will work with and do those projects with. I'm trying to be brief. There is much more to this, but if you want more information, we want to get connected with you. These are some of our industry partners. We focus a lot on work-based learning, so we do what are called workplace learning challenges, where we work with our community partners, and they come in and they give the kids a challenge within their world of business, and the kids work through that problem as well. So here is my contact information. If you are interested, feel free to take a picture of that or talk with your child's counselor. We will be over with a one-pager and a little more information for all of the students over at the junior high in February. So if your kid comes home with a paper about PCAP, and then we'll take some sign-ups too. We do an application process. We do an interview. We want to make sure that this is a good fit for your child because we know it's a commitment. You're committing to attend the academy, not Logansport High School, but you may just think, you know, this would be a good way for my child to get their high school education. So, with that being said, Mr. Miller.
Thank you. So I hope that you can see through PCAP, through our own programming here at Logansport High School, through the Century Career Center, there's multiple pathways and opportunities to engage your students in success. And that is our whole purpose here is to ensure that we have things in place to meet every single student and get them 100% college and career ready. And so another thing with CEL, our UND partners, is our early college program. Students are targeted in 8th grade, will be coming over in the spring, looking at different factors, first generation students, certain demographics that we are encouraging those students to be a part of early college. An opportunity for them to be set up for success over their 4 years with supports in place to ensure that they are going to be successful graduating from Logansport High School and enrolling into a college. And so students, you'll hear more about this through your counselors, through certainly your teachers as we approach the spring semester. But really we're looking at putting systems in place to ensure that you have that support when you're here at Logansport High School. So for example, you'll see an impact teacher, that's your homeroom teacher, that you'll have one consistent person over your 4 years here at Logansport High School. You'll be grouped as early college students in core classes in math and language arts, English, and as many other classes as possible, so we can make sure that you guys are creating that cohesive unit, that consistency, and that collaboration as a cohort as well. One counselor that's overseeing you guys as early college students, obviously an increase in that homeschool relationship between us and your families. Meeting with Ivy Tech Connection coaches. When you guys tour our campus and you're walking around, you'll see an early college space. We've actually moved that location this year. It's 3 conjoined classrooms upstairs. So we have our early college room where Mrs. Lundy is. She's a huge advocate in our Achieve Center as well too that you see there. And then our Ivy Tech Connections, a part of that as well, to help you stay connected and get you involved in that connecting between Logansport High School and your post-secondary readiness. We'll bring in guest speakers. You'll have special field trips, college and career fairs as a group. So a great opportunity. This is, so you can see here, back in 24, we had 12 students in the class of 24 who were part of our first really cohort. I'm going to show you some trends and data here in a second, but really that first cohort, 12 students. Then you'll see here in partnership with Ivy Tech, 24, 10 of those earned associates, 62 completed their Indiana College Core, which I'll explain here in a second, which are your basic 30 core credits. And then last year, 24 berries earned their associate's degree, and 82 of those students completed their ICC. And so what's happening here, these students are graduating, walking across the stage at Ivy Tech before their LHS commencement, graduating here from Logansport High School. And what does that mean as you look at, and these are more down the road, I understand not next year, right, for you guys as freshmen, but you have the opportunity to be able to start looking at this as a sophomore, starting as a sophomore, to be able to attain your 30 core credits, your ICC credits, in partnership with primarily Ivy Tech with us. That's a list of courses that you would take in order to be able to attain that. And then another thing that we talk about is being able to attain your associate's degree. And so here is a list of those courses and the checklist of courses that you would take to attain your 60 hours and your associate's degree. A wonderful opportunity. We talk about cost savings. We talk about opportunities once you leave Logansport High School to be able to have that. And this just shows you the trend. We have back in 2019, we didn't really have our general associates for those first 4 years, but our first cohort numbers, ICC, started at 6. And you can see, obviously, the trend and the growth. This year, in 26, we are projecting 84 of our seniors to attain their ICC and 19 students to attain their general associates. So a great opportunity, as mentioned, for our students. Another thing that will be coming that you may heard if you've had students that have came through Logansport High School, we no longer have the traditional rank system, class ranking with our students. We have our Distinguished Graduate Program. So this recognizes the top 10% of each class. Students are being able to track and monitor their points for really the holistic involvement outside of just academics, but service learning, extracurriculars, clubs, athletics, and their engagement. And so in that, we look at 3% being distinguished and the remaining 7% being commended. This is our current model that we are using, and our seniors are currently in the process right now of submitting their applications, tracking this information, and submitting this to us for review as we look at this and start to determine who those individuals will be at the end of the year. So again, broken down into 3 areas. Academics, there's point values that go along with each of these criteria for their academic achievements. Same thing for service leadership and your involvement in clubs and class officers and activities, along with then your extracurricular and co-curricular involvement in sports, varsity letters, being a multiple sport athlete, participation in band and choir, dance competition, many different things, lead cast, role members within theater arts. So again, holistic approach, students being involved to be able to do this. Now, I will say, so this is last year's 25, class of 25 students that were recognized. Very proud of these individuals and their hard work and achievements and efforts, along with many students that we have here. Moving forward, we're constantly looking at what we offer at Logansport High School, what our needs are within our community, our school community, and how we can set our students up for success. And so we're constantly looking at that and analyzing the impact, along with many other initiatives and successful things that we have going on here to make LHS 100% impactful for your students. And so this is one that we're looking at, obviously the academic points, service leadership points, extracurriculars, how we track it. Is it a representation of our highest academic performing students? Because really that is one thing that we hold true, the academic efforts of our students. And so as we continue to look at this over your course of year, we're going to talk about more of what that looks like. And should there be any changes, we will obviously look at communicating that to you guys as a cohort as we get ready in August and move forward. This QR code, if you would like, it's just going to take you directly to our website. If you haven't checked out the LHS website, I highly encourage you to be able to do so. There is a plethora of information on there that talks about programming, academics, clubs, activities, schedules, and we will continue to post things on there. So be sure, students and families, to go. That's a great place to go to with events and activities, but check out our LHS website. Additionally, we're on Facebook, we're on X. If you follow at LHS_berries, we'll keep you posted and updated on information that we have going on at Logansport High School. And so next steps, what does this look like, students? Certainly your focus right now becomes on your second semester as an 8th grader. As Mrs. Haggerty talked about, many of the courses that you're in right now, they are setting you up for success, attaining credits, being a part of your transcripts here at Logansport High School. So be successful in that. Do your best for yourself, do your best for your parents and your teachers, and certainly, like I said, visit the website, review our online resources. Students, families, discuss your freshman schedule. Guidance counselors, as Mrs. Haggerty said, will be available for you to be able to look at that and request information that you may need to help facilitate those conversations. If you have any questions, please be sure to see them. As mentioned, April 1st deadline is an important one with looking at schedule changes. So be sure to communicate with us. And if you're not sure who to contact and you want to reach out to administration, we'll certainly help get you in the right contact with that individual for your child and their counselor. And then just a couple dates. It will be here before we know it, but that Friday before our first student day, so that's August 7th, we will send more information out over the summer as we approach this, but our Berry Kickoff, in which that you'll have an opportunity, students, to come in, explore our campus, see your locker, combinations, figure out all the information, walk through your schedule, see what a day looks like here at LHS, and be able to have a more intimate time with us to help you be successful, certainly for that first week of school. Then on August 12th is our first day of school. And there's your 4 years, August 26th through May 2030. Have 4 great years here at Logansport High School. And we are really looking forward to those 4 years and our partnership and working together because, here quickly, June 6th, 2030. I know, parents. Yeah, take a breath for a minute. That is commencement day, right? So it's a great opportunity and a great thing that we look forward to, as mentioned, and a great opportunity for us to be able to recognize the efforts from our families, from our students and our teachers, and recognize our students walking across that stage. So here's what we're going to do now. As mentioned, we've got the cafeteria available with clubs and activities. Century Career Center staff will be there. We don't have to stay true to the 30 minutes. I'd say if you feel like 15, 20 minutes, you've had an opportunity to kind of go through there. But to make it a little easier, alphabetically, if your last name is A through K, if you could start in the cafeteria for us. And if you're L through Z, if you could go to the Career Center. We'll have individuals out there to help guide you in that direction. And then 15, 20 minutes or so, if you want to flip-flop to be able to explore on both of those, we'll be able to do that. This is just kind of an overview. Students, you can kind of see the cafeteria. You're going to see many clubs that are down there, activities, so you can see what's down there as well. And again, we thank you guys for coming, class of 2030 and families, and have a great evening.